For advice on paddles, I always ask these questions. What do you currently use? That will give us an idea of what you're used to, and also what you like or don't like. What kind of paddling you would like to be doing, what boats you're using, how tall and broad you are, and the shape and style of the boat you're using. These all have big effects on your paddle choice. There's a huge range of shapes and styles and sizes of paddles on the market. There's something for everyone. The general rule of thumb is the longer the boat, the longer the blade. The shorter the boat, the shorter the blade. The bigger and wider and taller the person, the bigger and wider the blade needs to be, and vice versa. Sea kayaking and touring paddles tend to be longer and thinner for a longer, slower, wider stroke, which gives you more stability and leverage over distance and time. Whitewater paddles tend to be a lot shorter and fatter for big, punchy pulls of power and aggression and stability. These whitewater paddles, to the untrained eye, all look a bit similar. However, they are different shapes and different styles for different types of paddling. The VE Pro is best suited for Playboater. So it's got a short, fat blade which doesn't require much pull through the water. If you think playboating, you're in a feature, bracing and sweeping, not necessarily wanting to move the boat forwards anywhere. You are using it more as stability rather than leverage. So it's short and fat and wide with a flat back surface, so it's really nice and stable. It has a downturned cut to it, which means that you don't have to be paddling like a slalom paddler to get much of the blade in the water. It will be nice and stable in a feature or on a wave. The VE Creaker is best suited to people that are creeking or river running if you're British. This has a long length with lots of leverage. So when you're wanting to reach far forward with your blade and pull it through the water nice and vertically, this will give you a long, slow, deep stroke. It's quite narrow in comparison to some of the other paddles, which means that it's easier to pull through the water. The VE Flyte is a teardrop shaped blade. This is narrow towards the neck of the blade, towards the shaft, and wide at the tip, so it has a real high catchment area. So when you initially plant your blade in the water, you get lots of power and scoop straight away. When you're driving your paddle vertically down the side of your boat with a lot of rotation, the narrowness of the blade comes into play, so you can have that corrective pry and draw and really control your boat. But also, when you do lift the blade out of the water at the back, you get a nice amount of lift and propulsion to allow you to boof as well. This has a very strong dihedral. So through the middle of the blade, there's this little ridge that splits the water as it pulls through and displaces it across the blade. So it allows you to pull the blade through the water, but gain a lot more power when you're doing so. So there's less resistance at a lower impact. A straight shaft gives you the best transfer of energy from your body through your shaft to your blade and to the water. So it's actually the most efficient shaft style. A bent shaft is ergonomically more comfortable. If you hold your arms out straight and relax your wrists, you'll see your arms naturally kind of bend inwards. If you're holding a straight shafted paddle and going to pull a paddle stroke, that forces your wrist outwards and in an unnatural position. It can cause strain on your wrists, forearms, upper body and shoulders if you're not paddling correctly. A bent shaft or an ergonomic shaft, your wrists naturally sit in the crease of the crank, which naturally realigns your forearms and wrists and shoulders, so it's less impact on your body. It's a more comfortable position to paddle. However, you do lose a bit of connectivity and power with the blade and the water. These whitewater kayak paddles are made from composite material, so fiberglass or carbon fiber. They are light and strong and stiff. They're comfortable to hold for a whole day on the water, and they give a really efficient stroke. They're comfortable to hold all day on the water, and their performance is very efficient. Fiberglass is a slightly softer, more flexible material than carbon fiber. Carbon fiber is a tighter, stronger bond, so you get really good purchase and performance with your stroke with lots of feedback and control. Price point wise, fiberglass is a little more cost effective. VE make all of their whitewater paddles in fiberglass blades or carbon fiber with an air core. So inside the air core blade is essentially a bubble of air, which gives you better purchase in aerated water. The blade doesn't sink as much, so what that gives you is more stability. It also stays at the surface when you're rolling, so it makes rolling a little easier. And they're really lightweight and lovely. Here at Above and Below, we have demos of every paddle that we sell. I highly recommend trying before you buy. If you're not sure which is the best style to suit you, come and give them a go and come and have a chat.